Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Self-Winding Chronograph in black ceramic with gold accents. Reference 26420CE.OO.A127CR.01. I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about the history of the Royal Oak Offshore, then talk to you about where this watch stands in relation to other watches in its same class, then talk to you about the case bezel dial bracelet movement, finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start with the history. The Royal Oak, let's start with the Royal Oak. Now, Audemars has been around for, I think, 175 years or more than 150 years. And they came out with their most successful, most iconic line and the line that put them on the map, which is the Royal Oak. It's not this one. This is the Offshore, the Royal Oak, which came out in 1972. It was designed by Gerald Genta. From there, 30 years, or I should say 20 years later, in 1992, or 93, the Royal Oak Offshore, not the Royal Oak, but the Offshore came out. And the Offshore was an evolution of the Royal Oak. It was bigger, beefier, bigger bezel, thicker case. Everything was just more beefy and more sporty, more, it was kind of like a Royal Oak on steroids. It came out. And that became in short, the Offshore. Now, the Offshore is the sportier line. The Royal Oak was already a sporty line, but the Offshore was an even more sporty line. It was a sport line of the Royal Oak. And as you can see, it makes sense. When you look at this watch, you can tell it looks just like a Royal Oak, except it's a lot more sporty. Okay, so that came out in 1992 or 33. And now it's been 30 years that the Offshore has been out, and it's the second most popular line by Audemars. Okay, so give you a little bit about its history. Now let's talk about where this watch stands in the lineup of other Offshores. Now the Offshore has been out for 30 years, so it has a very big history. This particular one, in this configuration of 43 millimeter, it has just come out within the last few years. I think it was released in 2021. And what is so different about it? Well, if you looked at some of our older videos, and you would see that the Offshore before only came in size 42 or 44. 44, this is the successor to the 44. The 44 was actually too big, and it was a little bit too clunky. And for some time when it was made, from I think it was approximately 2012 or 2013, something like that, until 2023. I had a 10-year run. The 44 millimeter was the king of the Offshore. Now they decided to slim it down just a little bit, just by 1 millimeter, but that 1 millimeter made a big difference. And the evolution of that is what you see here. When I talk to you about each little part, which I will in just a moment, you'll get an idea. But right now, the topic that we're on right now is where this watch stands in the lineup of other ones. Now, when they first came out with the Offshore, it came out in just a very basic, just a steel, rose gold, and titanium with some bezel updates. They were very basic. But over the last few years, they came out with these variations. One of the variations is what you're looking at here, which is the watch in complete black ceramic. Now, I bet they're going to make many more variations of it. They make it in blue ceramic as well, and what you see here is in black ceramic. So they don't make a whole lot of them. At the moment, they only have like 9 in this collection, and they have some diamond ones. I'm not going to count those because most people are not buying those ones. But for the Offshore and in ceramic, there's only 2 variations right now. And this is one of them. Or 3 variations, sorry. And this is one of them. Okay, and a very beautiful one. Okay, now that's a little bit about where it stands in the lineup. Okay, let's start talking about the case. Now the case itself is 43 millimeters. That's 43 millimeters, and that's from my thumb to my index fingers, the longest distance across the bezel, from the 8 o'clock to the 2 o'clock position. Now, for those who don't really know, a normal sports watch for men is somewhere usually between 40 millimeters and 44. That is still considered large. So it's not the largest, but 43 is going to be big. So if you have a small wrist, I would suggest if you have a wrist size of 7 inches or smaller, probably this is not the watch for you. Maybe you want to think about a 38 millimeter Royal Oak, but this 43 probably not going to be for you. But those who have a 7-inch wrist or larger, which like myself, I do, and many of those people, I would say probably with a weight of probably 150 or 160 pounds or greater, you probably do have a wrist size of 7 inches or larger, and it's going to look okay on you. And when I try it on, you'll get an idea what it looks like. So that's the size, 43 millimeters. Okay, and it actually is even bigger when you include going in the vertical direction. I think it's something like 50 or 52 millimeters going up and down. Is it actually even longer vertical wise than a Richard Mille? And if you actually include the pushers, then it's going to be for sure around 50. Going, if you go, let's say you go from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock and include the crown and pusher, then it's going to definitely be larger. So even though it is 43 with these big lugs and everything, it's going to be even bigger. So 43, but even bigger than 43. Okay, all right. So it is a big watch. Now, when you turn it on its side, it's also important to look at the profile. Now, surprisingly, the thickness is only 14.4 millimeters. That's not that much. To give you some reference, a deep sea can be, I think the deep sea Rolex is something like 16 or 17 millimeters. It's a massive watch. So at 14.4 millimeters, it's not really that big. Now, it's not a thin watch like a Daytona, which is 12 millimeters, but 14 millimeters is within reason considering how big the case is. You can't have a super big watch with a super thin profile. So it's got to match, and it does match. And I don't think I think the thickness is just fine. Now, actually, if you look at the 42 millimeters, strangely enough, the 42 millimeters that they offer are actually 15.5 millimeters. I don't know why they make the smaller watch thicker. It actually makes it worse if you ask me. So anyways, 14.4 millimeter profile, it's very nice thickness. Okay, now the case, I might add to make sure you heard me, is that it's made of black ceramic. And what is beneficial about black ceramic? Well, one, it is black. It looks very cool. There's not a lot of black watches out there. For example, Patek Philippe does not make black watches, and Richard Mille makes some, but not many. So there's not a lot of black ceramic watches out there. And number two is ceramic has a unique quality in that it does not scratch easily. It can shatter, but you have to hit it really hard. But in general, it's going to maintain its same finish for many, many years. You can, you're not going to get hairlines like you do on a metal watch. So that is a very big benefit of this black ceramic. It basically will look like this forever. Okay, and it has the pushers are also in black ceramic, and it also has these accents. Now, very tastefully, AP has done the accents that hold the pushers in gold. I think it looks fantastic. There's actually a yellow gold. Sorry, maybe I said rose gold, but I was not right. The pushers, the thing that holds the pushers themselves are in black ceramic. The holders for the pushers are in yellow gold, and so is the crown or the edge of the crown. The crown itself is made in black ceramic, but the pusher itself, or not the pusher, but the very tip of it is in yellow gold. And they do a nice accent. They make the dial, they paint it with this beautiful yellow gold to match. So if you ask me, it's a very nice touch. And the hands, of course, are going to be in yellow gold as well. A very, very nice touch. Okay, let's move on to the dial here. Now, the dial is a black dial with a mega tapestry pattern. It has black counters, and it has yellow gold applied hour markers. What that means is, like I said earlier, the hour markers on the dial itself is painted, but the hour markers, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., those are actually done in yellow gold to match the yellow gold accents on the pusher. Very nice touch, but to be expected from a brand like AP. Okay, all right. Let's move on to we talked about pushers. The bezel. Okay, the bezel, not much to say either because it's just black ceramic. It's kind of touched on it when I talked about the case. Now, let's talk about the strap here. Now, the strap is, what comes to your factory is a black alligator strap with 18 karat yellow gold pin buckle. So the buckle on here, it's a pin buckle. It's like a belt buckle. Pin, like as you can imagine, the word pin means it just sticks right through, just like a belt buckle. And so, there's other options for it. There's deployant style buckles, but I really like the pin buckle that it comes with because I feel it's more secure, it's more sporty, and it's easier to put on. And it looks very nice. It makes it very flat. It keeps the weight down on this watch. and I really like it. I think probably you like it as well. Now it has this really nice touch, and I think AP just really knows how to make these variations. They make it in black alligator, but they put this really nice gold stitch that makes the accent of the yellow gold run throughout the watch and throughout the bracelet. They didn't just throw on any strap. Now, if you don't want to wear this with a black alligator strap, you can make it more sporty by just simply using this quick release mechanism that AP also came up with, and you can change it for a black rubber strap or whatever strap you want to change, and it has a quick release, so you don't need any tools to actually change it, which is another thing that has changed about it. Oh, I guess I was going to tell you what had changed between the 44 and the 43 millimeter. So the old 44 obviously was bigger, 44, this one's 43. But what they did is also on the pushers, they made it more flushed. On the 44, the pushers stuck out a lot, and they were just kind of giant. And they've recessed them to form fit the case much better, and the result is what you see here. And also they made the dial a little bit more legible. They made the hands bigger because they were actually kind of difficult to be read before. The hands were kind of thin. They made them fatter. Okay, and they also changed the bracelet, which is what I just showed you, is that you can remove the bracelet very easily without any tools. So that's also a very cool thing. And they also made the polish on the case a little bit different. Before, the edges, the beveled edge that you see here, the beveled edge, it was very thin, that now it's very thick. Okay, all right, now I guess that brings us to the end. Oh, the movement, sorry, yeah, and the movement also changed. I forgot to say, now that we're talking about the movement actually before, I wish I had another one to show you, but the movement was really tiny, and it did not fit the watch. This movement is a caliber 4401. It's got 381 parts, and the diameter of it is 32 millimeters. So it fits a 43 millimeter watch. Before, the diameter, I have to say, was like 28 millimeters or something. So it was like 30% smaller, and it just really did not look like it fit into the watch. It looked like it fit into a smaller watch, and in fact, it did fit into a smaller watch, but they just used a spacer to make it fit into a larger watch, which did not look very good if you ask me, and I'll probably did not look very good if you ask AP either, which is why they changed it to this 32 millimeter movement inside, which totally fills up the inside now and actually makes it look like it fits the watch. In my opinion, and probably the opinion of many others, it is the right choice. That's why they did it. Okay, anyways, so those are the things that have changed since the older movement and this movement. Okay, now let's go ahead and try this watch on. I'm 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. I have a 7.5 inch wrist, and as you can see, this watch looks perfect on me, so I would definitely recommend it for those who have a 7-inch wrist or larger. It still can look okay at 7-inch, but if anything smaller than that, I would probably say no, this is not the right size, because they do make offshores in different sizes. But for those who have a 7-inch wrist or larger, which is a lot of people, by the way, probably pretty much anyone above 160 pounds is going to have a 7-inch wrist or larger. It can fit you, and this watch is meant to be worn big. I really like the Offshore. I think it's a amazing sports watch that AP makes, and when it comes to sports watch, I have to say they are number one. They're above Patek, that's for sure, when it comes to sports watch, because they are a sports watch company as opposed to Patek, which is a dress watch company. And I would even say, in some ways, not every way, in some ways they can beat out Richard Mille. Of course, in the super ultra high end, no, they cannot beat Richard Mille. But in this category of watches right around this 50,000-60,000 range, you can't even buy a Richard Mille in that range. So to have a very luxurious sports watch but not have in this $50,000-$60,000 price range, it's pretty good. And I think AP is the king of it in that. I don't see anybody else knocking them off anytime soon or ever, really. They make amazing variations, beautiful movements. The case is iconic. The resale on it is amazing. So it just really cannot be beat. It has all these qualities that just, smash everybody else. And that's probably why AP actually outdid Patek Philippe. And I know that AP is only mostly selling sports watches, but nowadays that's what people want. People want sports watches, and rightfully so. They're beautiful, and a lot of people are not, wearing suits all the time, so they don't really want a super dress watch, or they might have a dress watch, but might not have that many. But anyways, okay, what do I like about it? I like that it's in black ceramic, so it doesn't scratch. It looks ultra sporty. and it's a great size. I'm glad they slimmed it down. It looks fantastic. And look, if you want to buy this watch at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.